Well, the SEC baseball season is moving right along as week 2 has concluded. And every week we're going to have big games and surprises, and week 2 certainly did not disappoint. We'll start out on a Thursday night as Tennessee was at Alabama, and Alabama won the Thursday night game and celebrated like they'd won a national championship or something, and Tennessee come back and spanked them the next 2 and won the series 2-1. Got so bad Saturday that Alabama's coach pitched a fit over the correct call and got tossed and kind of just looked silly. But Tennessee is now 5-1 in the SEC, 22-2 overall. Alabama is 4-2 and 22-3 overall. One of the biggest series was LSU at Texas. And LSU got put down a little bit as they lost the series 1-2, and that put LSU at 4-2 in the SEC, 22-3 overall. Put Texas at 5-1 in the SEC and 19-3 overall. One of the better teams in the SEC is the Georgia Bulldogs, as they were at Florida. And Georgia swept Florida, put up a lot of runs also, and Georgia is 5-1 in the SEC and 24-2 overall. Florida is 0-6 in the SEC and 18-8 overall. Tough start for Sully in the SEC. Another sweep this weekend was Arkansas at South Carolina, as Arkansas swept the series, is now 4-2 in the SEC and 19-5 overall. South Carolina is 1-5 in the SEC and 17-8 overall. Another sweep was Vandy and Texas A&M. Vandy swept A&M and is now 4-2 in the SEC and 19-5 overall. A&M is 0-6 in the SEC and 11-12 overall. Not very good at all. Auburn, who's doing pretty well. Auburn won their series with Kentucky at Kentucky 2-1. Auburn is now 4-2 in the SEC, 19-5 overall. Kentucky fell to 2-4 in the SEC and 15-7 overall. Oklahoma, another good team, won the series over the weekend with Mississippi State 2-1. Oklahoma is now 4-2 in the SEC, 20-3 overall. Mississippi State fell to 1-5 in the SEC and 15-9 overall. The last sweep of the series, there's a lot of sweeps this week, was Ole Miss and Missouri, and Ole Miss swept Missouri. Ole Miss is 4-2 in the SEC, 18-5 overall. Missouri is 0-6 in the SEC and 8-14 total. So we got a few bad teams, a few teams certainly struggling in the SEC, but we do have an awful lot of good teams that are just going to beat up on ourselves. Week 3 is going to have Tennessee at South Carolina. LSU is going to host Mississippi State. Georgia is going to host Auburn. That'll be a good series. Texas is going to be at Missouri. Bama is going to have Oklahoma. Vandy is going to go to Arkansas. Ole Miss is going to have Florida. Kentucky is going to go down to A&M, see what happens there. Florida is going to be at Ole Miss, see what happens there. Missouri's got to go to Texas. It's should be another good week for baseball. In week 2, LSU's coach was tossed out. No, I'm sorry, South Carolina's coach was tossed, so he will miss a game. I guess that means a midweek game. I think they only have to miss one, as will Alabama's. Things definitely heating up and getting crazy in the SEC, and it's going to be a fun year for sure. We got 10 weeks of this, and we are heading toward week 3. As always, thanks for listening. Always like participation as far as likes and comments and subscriptions, and we'll catch you next week.